It is episode 15 of Monday Evening with Alex and Luke.
Our weekly show that documents our travels through every state, province, and territory in Upper North America, Canada, and the USA, as directed by you on Twitter, Facebook, and our website.
Yeah, I'm Alex Sabine.
Luke Fijan.
And let's see where we traveled this week.
We started this week in the Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado, and from there we drove to
Arroyo Seco, I think it was called. It was a little tiny town outside of Taos.
And it was good.
You loved it. And then we drove to Santa Fe.
Santa Fe to Albuquerque.
Albuquerque to Las Cruces.
Las Cruces to Tucson.
Tucson to Phoenix.
Phoenix to Williams.
Williams
to the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon to Flagstaff. 1 week.
We stopped in so many places this week that it's almost ridiculous how many places we saw. But our favorite was probably the smallest place we visited.
Arroyo Seco, just northeast of Taos in New Mexico. That was the first city we hit when we went to New Mexico.
And by city you mean like a corner.
Correct, a literal street corner. And I loved it. It's like a little town built up around this abominable snow mansion hostel which we stayed at, which was really cool. And it's the traditional New Mexican city that I would have thought of if you had me draw out what a New Mexican city looked like.
Adobe buildings and mountains, and very cool.
Our favorite meal this week was at a restaurant that was suggested to us way too long ago.
It was suggested by Bob and Jane. We talk about them a lot. We met them at the Wigwam Motel in Kentucky, and they actually recommended this restaurant way back then.
We drove an extra long way. We probably took an 8-hour detour to get there.
Tell them why it was worth it.
Because it was the best piece of fajita I've ever put in my face, ever.
Wait, you haven't told them where it is yet.
Las Cruces, New Mexico.
What's the restaurant called?
La Posta.
Yeah. He was in heaven.
It's so good.
Can't even tell you how much Mexican food we've been eating lately.
Yeah, we've like, if you look at our Goala check-ins,
taco. The last two things that we just talked about both happened in New Mexico, but you might be wondering how we got to New Mexico without you actually boating us there. This leads us to our favorite moment of the week.
Our car was in desperate need of service. We'd been neglecting it. We planned to service it all throughout Colorado. We ended up in the Great Sand Dunes National Park, realized that we didn't have anywhere to service it. We called our best friends on the road at Oakville Volkswagen, and 12 hours later they had us an appointment in the closest possible dealership to us, which was in New Mexico. So yes, we drove there without you voting for it, but the only reason we went there is because we had such cool friends at Oakville Volkswagen that picked that up. And just to know that we can be in the middle of the desert and have people look out for us and get our car serviced, that's my favorite moment of the week, and I'm legit tearing up.
And to top it off, the people at University Volkswagen in Albuquerque were so kind, and they heard about us as soon as we got there, started chatting, giving us suggestions. It was really cool. So definitely best moment of the week.
Our favorite sleep this week occurred in a bed that I didn't think would exist in a hotel that exists in Phoenix, Arizona called the Clarendon Hotel.
You know what? That's a good point. The beds were incredible.
The beds were amazing.
What were they? The same beds as
the Ritz-Carlton?
The Ritz-Carlton? Okay, so this hotel, it's obviously an old kind of vintage hotel that they've rejuvenated and made completely modern with bright colors, modern furniture,
killer
art.
Pool area.
Oh, great pool, rooftop, and one of the best parts about the hotel, other than the beds.
And something that we now want most hotels to do is put a good restaurant in your hotel.
The restaurant in the Clarendon, what's it called?
Gallo Blanco. Yeah.
Really affordable, really good fresh food, and it's obviously the kind of spot where locals bring their dates and hang out. They promote local businesses too at the Clarendon, which is a really cool thing.
I love the Clarendon. I'd go back to the Clarendon. Best beds of the whole trip by far.
A lot of famous people go there apparently. We would now like to talk about our favorite attraction this week, and this one is hard for me because we saw some amazing things from the Great Sand Dunes, which you loved, and to be honest, I loved it.
I can't believe it's not my favorite attraction.
To the Taos Pueblo, the old city center of Santa Fe. It's nuts how many things we saw this week. But
I told myself I'd never say it, but you can't truly appreciate the Grand Canyon until you go.
And for this reason, it is our favorite attraction of the week.
It's beautiful.
These pictures that we're showing you give you no idea of what it's like to see in person.
Just look at them. We won't speak. Holy f***.
Can you believe that exists in this continent? Where you live?
Yeah, I've learned about it for a very long time.
Yes, but when you actually walk upon it, Is that for real? It blew my mind.
Favorite attraction of the week.
If we had 21 meals in the past 7 days, I would guess that at least 16
23 of them were Mexican or New Mexican food. We've been eating so much Mexican food.
As I said, Luke is in heaven. I'm pretty happy too, I'm not gonna lie.
And the thing we learned this week occurred accidentally when our waitress was like, do you want an extra sopapilla?
And we were like,
Yes?
That was in Santa Fe.
So we learned what sopapillas are, Alex.
She brought this little basket and it had these 2 puffy bread pastry things. Not bread, somewhere in between, full of air on the inside. Maybe deep fried. Not really
We don't know a lot about
exactly. No. But I do know they exist. I do know that they're fun to say.
How about we do a voiceover, you talking over the next part, and we'll just try and make it go in with the real facts.
Okay.
Sopapilla is a crisp, puffy, deep-fried pastry. In the United States, it is often served with honey or syrup. Definition from the Webster's Dictionary.
And that's what sopapilla is.
And the thing I learned this week is that there's a place called Truth or Consequences, and it exists in New Mexico. Peace!
Now when the sun come up, I'll be ready to say what up in the morning. Brush my teeth, find that clip I've been looking for since last night. I feel so caught up in the bud. I float somehow in my bedroom.
Our favorite song this week is Up, Up, and Away by Kid Cudi, or if you go by Alex's version, Kit Cudi. Kid Cudi's great, look him up if you haven't heard about him. Favorite song of the week. That's episode XV, 15, Roman numerals.
Fancy.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Monday evening with Alex and Luke. Stay tuned next week where we come to you from under the sea.
That's not
Lean of the next hotel room that we're in. We're gonna need your help this week, so stay tuned. I think we're posting a video Tuesday.
Maybe Tuesday.
We need so much help, so stay tuned and get your helpful hats on.
This week was amazing. Thank you everybody who gave us suggestions, and hope next week's just as good.
Best week of Alex and Luke.
Yeah, it was really good.
alexandluke.com.
Take care of my mom, I'm a lonely story, so sing along, little mama. You ain't gotta worry about no drama, no. I provide